Yeah, that's a real trash spot to go pick up some night walkers and have fun
And
with them and then kick them out of the car.
you and five guys would run trains on strippers after a night at the club. How would you lure
They
them
would
back to
just,
talk them
they
into
would
this with
just,
piles of
oh,
party favors?
yeah.
Just
Just
tell
go
them,
back to John. Just go back to the house where we lived in Scottsville and just party until the sun came up the next day.
and then just talk them into doing God knows whatever because you're giving them whatever. And
Whatever they wanted to do, we didn't talk them into doing anything. That sounds horrible.
the actual days. Well, I didn't. Okay, yes, you're not coercing anybody to do anything they don't want to do. I didn't mean it like that, but
It was
yeah, I
just
mean
an
it's
after
not.
party spot.
It's just not that easy. I don't know a lot of girls who are having five guy gangbangs. Is I guess was my point. So,
Dude, there'd be two or three of the girls that would come over after working.
and were they
And
doing
they would
this like
just,
in trade, basically? You think, or were they doing this because they're just that crazy? I mean, were you guys paying these chicks too, or? Oh, okay. There you go. All right. Well, that's fine. You can admit it. So we need to get a. So what you're saying is we need to get a billboard outside of Rochester that Mikey had sex with strippers and four other guys in Scottsdale or whatever. Or
yeah,
wherever
it's
you said,
Scottsdale. Yes,
or
yes,
wherever
that's
you said it
Scottsdale. That's
was.
perfect. Yeah, no, Scottsdale, Arizona. It's a hell of
Yeah.
a
Right.
city.
Right. All right. Well, that's crazy, dude. Good for you. Was it fun?
Dude, it was always fun.
Good.
That's before the drugs stopped being fun.
That's
That's when
good.
strippers used to do cocaine before they started doing heroin and falling off the pole. They would actually have some energy to them. Now they just all fall off the pole and nod out in your lap.
Last time I went to a strip club, they seemed to have plenty of energy. They were doing just fine. Cost me, but they were a lot of fun. Um,
I was scrolling through the chat. I'm definitely not trending well in the chat right now.
you aren't? Why? What
Gone
happened?
from, oh my God, telling the story about bringing the strippers home to my house and stuff like that. Christina's got a real big problem with that. Carrie's got a problem with that.
With you bringing
And
home
now,
strippers?
yeah, now I've gone from the mustiest to the nastiest, nastier than other people that we might know.
Well,
It's been,
is it? I'm wondering what they're saying is nasty, but
oh, is there any
because
chance Mikey doesn't have an STD?
you just said you wrapped it up. Although the blow pop thing might have ended up with something, you never know if you if you're you might have walked away with something from that one. You never know.
Oh yeah, and then yeah, Christina, I do have to answer her question. She wants to know if I've washed that water bottle of mine in the last 3 months. And yes, I just fucking washed it. I wash it every weekend, and it's not a water bottle; it's a Gatorade bottle. I drink Gatorade all day, every day.
Boy, they've really gotten under your skin about your lack of deodorant and calling you Musty Mikey and stuff.
Yeah, because I'm a clean guy. My God, I live in very, very clean quarters.
Yeah, it's hard, but people don't. They find that hard to believe. Like when you say stuff like you don't shower and then you bang
I do
strippers.
shower. See, that's the problem. You say that I don't shower. I just don't put on deodorant. I'm a 2 shower a day guy. Always have been.
Yeah. Alex said, I mean, you did say you loading them up with drugs and took them home to do a train on them. That's just like, I don't know, kind of vile to someone's
Did I
humanity.
say? Did I say I was loading them up on drugs, or did they just gladly take the cocaine from my pocket and key it to their nose themselves?
I don't think.
The
Well,
fuck out of here with that coerced them and did that shit. Take your feminist spin bullshit and get the fuck out of the chat.
well, no,
Trying to cancel me
don't.
over some shit saying I coerced girls and I filled them full of drugs so I could fuck them. No, they all chose to fuck me because I had the drugs.
That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, they did a lot of times. That's why I was asking,
Sorry,
kind
it's
of.
hard to understand. Some girls are just a fucking whore.
Yeah, I mean, there are girls out there who do like their partying, and they do all that kind of willingly. So you're saying that was a total willing thing, Mikey? Obviously, nobody was coerced. These girls were out willingly coming home with you, whether they were. I mean, it was Wasn't like a quid pro quo, like we're going to give you drugs if you come home with us. They were going to come home with you.
No, they left with a pocket full of cash and a pocket full of drugs.
So they didn't need you for the partying, is what you're saying. You just happened to be an accessory to the party.
Yeah.
You guys got Mikey fired up.
No, I just hate that shit. That I filled them up with drugs and like coerced them to the house like I'm the Pied Piper or some shit.
No, I understand. You could see why someone would, why like a woman could hear that and they would hear the wrong thing, because if they aren't like that, like I would imagine Allie isn't the kind of girl who would do something like that, or probably most of the girls in there. There's not a lot of women out there who are doing that. So I imagine maybe it's hard for them to understand that there are girls who would do all that without being coerced, perhaps. And I'm speaking for them because
it was a 15-year span of my life where I know more women that were like that than weren't like that.
Yeah, you did. You ran with a rough crowd, Mikey. That's for sure. That is for sure.
I come to think of it, I got blamed for, or I got said that all the time. Oh, you ran with a rough crowd. I think I was the fucking leader. Like, I was the bad influence for everybody around me. I didn't have any bad influences. I think I was like the center of the fucking tornado.
Yeah, I think it all depended on what part of my Nugget Man saying something about Amanda versus Carrie and a fruit snack challenge. I'm not really sure what that means. We'll have to circle back to that one. But all right. Yeah, there were times where I was definitely the ringleader, depending on who I was hanging out with. There were times where I had people I had people kind of telling me what was the fun thing to do and all that good. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's different times in my life, different people had influence over me. And then other times I had influence over them. But I always kind of looked at it as either way, it was an excuse to party. That's all it was. You know what I mean? Like, it's just another excuse to get wasted, whether I'm the one driving it, whether I feel like somebody else is talking me into it. It was always a nice excuse when I would talk myself into believing that another person was to blame for when I was partying. But I did see it might be a good idea if we enact this over here. Somebody had mentioned that we put into effect Operation Icebox for Mikey. He's got very heated, and everybody knows that when your old pal Dumb is getting worked up and very angry, this was what my gym teacher and my principal would put into effect when I was getting worked up. They'd say Operation Icebox is in effect, and they'd try to get me cooled off before I lost my temper.
And here I am talking about cocaine, and you're covering me in snowflakes.
It does look like a little bit a zoomed in view of it. If you squint your eyes a little bit, it does kind of look like a mirror. Yeah, somebody kind of just the edges, or somebody just kind of get the middle of, just like that looks like a finger. That looks like a finger smear right across the middle of a mirror, actually.
Yep.
So there you go. We've got Mikey in Operation Icebox, and look at that. It already made him calm down and laugh a little bit. So that's good to know. All right, one little quick video to laugh, and on a laugh, and then we'll wrap things up tonight. This made me giggle pretty hard today when I saw it. Pretty self-explanatory. Enjoy. One more time, just cuz. Oh man, this is great. I love this. What? Boom. Oh. Ooh, what do you think hurt worse? What hurt the worst on this? Actually, let's break this down. Darla, honey, please stop. Puppy Wuppy, please stop. I'm not sure what hurts worse, when he smacked
that right there.
Darla, honey, Whoppers, could you please stop barking? We're trying to work here. Thank you. Good girl. All right, so right here, where he smacks his nuts, you think that's the part that hurt the most? Where he comes...
And then on the bounce back, he hits the left side of his head, too. Watch. Nuts head.
Oh, really? I didn't notice that. Oh, damn, you're right. He does. He face plants into that. But he almost looks like as he was coming... Knock it off. Hush. That's enough. Sorry about that, guys. She's going crazy right now. She's barking at the cat. Um,
It's another dumb show.
Hello. Oh shit, I forgot to turn my lights on. Welcome to another Dumb Show. I'm another Dumb Show host. Thank you for joining me on issue number 78. Probably my favorite issue number of all, as number 78. That number chases me around. I tried to get rid of it when I was younger. It was my football number. Tried to get rid of it. Tried to switch to number, I don't know, another number, 51 or 55. I think I tried to switch to or whatever. My football coach forgot to order my jersey. Forgot to get me a new jersey. Somehow, I don't know how that happened. So I ended up being stuck with the leftover jersey, and it was number 78. So in all my efforts to try to get rid of number 78, I couldn't do it. And so I was stuck with 78. And then it just seemed to chase me everywhere. It would show up in all kinds of numbers, and it would show all kinds of different stuff, addresses, all kinds of different weird combinations of numbers. It would come up to that number 78. So welcome to issue number 78. Thank you for streaming on the tube with me tonight. I appreciate you guys being here on another Dumb Show. I think I mentioned I'm another Dumb Show host, if you guys didn't mention that. With me, as always, I believe, not as always, but, you know, he's here tonight. My dude, Mikey. What's going on, bro? How are you? Yeah, for the most part, yes. How are you? I didn't mean to make it sound bad like that. Mikey, welcome. How are you, dude? What's going on?
What's up, buddy? How you doing? Yeah,
I'm
number
doing good.
78 followed you around because that was your favorite football player, too.
It was Bruce Smith. That's why I initially picked that number, but in a weird revolt against that, I don't know why I decided I just had enough of it for some reason. I was just over that number. I think, you know what it was?
51, you said? Brian Cox?
Yeah. You know why I wanted to change numbers is, well, I wanted 55 because I just thought I wanted to, because I was going to switch to middle linebacker that year is what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to switch to middle linebacker. So I wanted a linebacker number. And my coaches, they let me try out in training camp or whatever it was called, mini camps or spring mini camps or whatever. And I did okay. You know, and I knocked down a pass and stuff. So in pass coverage, I was keeping up with the running backs, but mind you, it was the younger kids, so I wasn't really keeping up with the A team, to be honest with you. So I probably wasn't fast enough to play linebacker as much as I wanted to. So that's why I was trying to switch my number. And then for whatever reason, the coaches screwed up and didn't order the right jersey. And I ended up having to just be 78. So, but yeah, Bruce Smith from the Buffalo Bills, my all-time favorite NFL football player. So, yeah, it just never goes away. And then it like something in my head clicked, and I turned into this weirdo who was obsessed with that number to the point where I literally wrote it all over the back of every desk in the school. I wrote 78 rules. I would write a little hyphen, the number 78, another hyphen after it, and then rules. And then it started morphing into, I started putting the Superman diamond around it, too, just because I'm a psychopath. Then I just decided one day I was just going to write it right on a desk, just a big ass whole version of it on a desk, because in chemistry I was bored. Of course, the teacher saw that, and then the teacher must have mentioned something about it to the janitor, and the janitor said, "Oh, you know who that is? You found out who
78's everywhere.
You found out who 78 Rules is, huh? Sweet." So yeah, I got detention for that, and I had to go around and wash it off of the back of
Every desk you wrote it on.
30 different desks, probably something like that around the school. Bathrooms. Wrote it everywhere. I was obsessed. I was a psychopath with it. It was complete lunatic. But yeah, I'm weird with numbers, and that number really, I love that goddamn number. It's great.
I'm weird with numbers. I've always been able to remember phone numbers. Like I remember it. All the old like neighborhood phones and house phones and everything like that from when I was a kid. I remember everybody's number.
See, I don't remember anybody's phone number from when I was little. That's a good one, actually. Well, I feel like maybe I remember the last 4 digits of my best friend's number. Maybe I think maybe. Now that you're mentioning it, I think I might. That's weird that you mentioned, because it like flashed into my mind right when you said that, and I was like it like popped up in my head. So I think I remember Matt's phone number from when I was a little kid. Good question from Nugget Man in the chat. Oh, by the way, big shout out to Tessa being first in chat today. That's the first time I think I've ever seen Tessa first in chat. So congratulations to Tessa. I know it's a big deal for the League of Dummies to be first in the chat. So congratulations to her for being first. I appreciate it.
Yep.
And I think
was it an actual first, or did did Brap bow out tonight?
I haven't seen Brap in there, so I'm assuming he's either got stuck at work or he's sleeping or something. I didn't get to take a lunch because I think he goes on lunch when the show comes on or something like that, and that's why he's like here at the beginning and then kind of trails off towards the end. So, yeah. So Tessa, good job. I appreciate it. I saw in the chat a question from Nugget Man asking me if I have a 78 tattoo. No, I've never had anybody be able to draw one that I like enough, like a version of it, because it's a really odd kind of, because the way the 7 and the 8, it's a straight line, and then curves with the 8, with the 7's that hard angle. So the angular kind of look of the 7 and the bulbous kind of round 8s, it's a hard kind of way to put it together to make it look good.
The numbers don't match. It doesn't look. It's not a symmetrical number in any sense of the word. The 7's always going to look smaller than the 8. It's just going to look like an 18.
There's all this weird empty space. Well, way I draw my 7's, I put a little hook on the front of it. I leave a little like. It's not just 2 lines. I have like that little tiny third line on my 7.
Like it goes down a little bit.
Yeah. What is that? It's a serif or whatever, I think. Or I add a little extra thing to it. So, that was why. So that's why the 78 means a lot to me. So yeah, you guys get all those likes on, man. Maybe try to make this the most liked video of all of them, considering it's number 78. Do it just for your old pal Dom. Let's see. I got some emails here. And a couple comments. Yesterday, I got an email from Michaela that I was confused about. She sent in a picture that I didn't understand what it was. And it was a picture of, I'll show you the picture. And it's we talked, I don't know if this is the specific woman we talked about before, but Mikey, remember we talked about the overweight ladies who can't fit on the airplanes?
Which overweight lady are we talking about?
Well, the ones that don't fit on the air, because yesterday, we got an update on one for today too, so don't worry, we got a couple overweight lady updates. But this one was just sent in from Michaela yesterday, and I wasn't really sure why she was sending it, because I didn't really look at it, because there was no description in the email, so I wasn't exactly sure what I was looking at. And so she sent another email in today clarifying it and said, Dom, I'm sorry my last email was weird, but I wanted to show you the airplane lady that wouldn't fit in her seat because she was so big. Anyways, any talk of a meetup? Love you guys. As of now, no. We'll get to that here down the road. But here's the picture she sent. Look at this chick. Trying to get in that chair. And I don't mean to bully, but good God. I wouldn't really care. I would actually feel a little bit bad for her until I saw this. Merry effing BBW bash. I am literally so fat I can't fit in the effing plane seat. I know airports really overwhelm me, but this is too much. I cannot get comfortable in any position for the next 3 hours. At Fly Frontier, literally, what in the honest God F I want a refund. Well,
A refund for what? You should have had to pay for an extra 2 seats.
that's what I'm saying. Exactly. It's the complete opposite. You should be forking out extra cash because you're piling your rolls are piling over in other people's seats, lady. You can't even get your legs in there. You're like,
God, dude, when I was going to get on a plane on my way back from Wisconsin for training, I had one of those situations, dude, where I sat down next to the person and they were bowled over. And the first thing I did is grab the flight attendant. I was like, is there any open seats? I did not feel bad at all, dude. I needed to. She didn't smell the best.
Did they move you?
She smelled like Yes, they did. They.
Oh, wow.
Like, do you mind being on an exit row? I was like, nah, put me right by the exit seat.
Yes, no more
I'll
leg
help
room.
everybody out the plane.
Yeah, I pay for those damn exit rows, man. I want to have that extra leg room.
God, dude, I was so panicked that for an hour and 20 minutes I was going to be stuck with a roll just pressed against me offensively.
Well, it's interesting that you were you rudely got out of that seat because Michaela sent a little add-on to that last email. It said, I also wanted to write you another email because listening to the chat, or I'm assuming reading the chat on replay, I can't believe how rude people are to Mikey. People should be ashamed of themselves calling him nasty, musty, etc. Please read this to Mikey and tell him he's doing a great job and screw all the haters. Thank you. Signed, Mikey's mom. No.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. No, that's great. I'm glad people have your back. They're coming to your rescue, my man. After, I almost closed something I needed open. Ooh, that would have pissed me off if I closed that. Oh man, I would have sucked if I closed that. It would have taken everything away I was just getting ready to do here. So, no, it did get pretty intense yesterday. That's why I was trying to find something to play because literally yesterday, every single fucking thing we talked about, there's no way yesterday's show it's already got, like I have a review request for monetization on yesterday's show. There's no fucking way that's going through. I was going through it trying to find, oh my God, the amount of times you said the word cocaine about a zillion times.
You're not allowed to say that word?
Well, you got to look at it like the advertisers. You know what I mean? They don't want to really talk about it. So like if we were to and it's also a computer that's listening too. So if we say blow or nose candy or stuff like that, I don't think it's as adept if we're just blatantly saying Coke or whatever. You know what I mean? I just think it's super.
Oh, I'll switch it up.
I think we have to be a little bit more just careful.
I used to mess with that girl. I used to mess with that girl all the time.
Yeah.
That's just the girl. The other stuff is the boy. So.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying we can't, swear here and there, be animated and be ourselves, because I'm certainly going to swear. I just think we have to maybe be a little careful about, drug use. Like that video I played with that Luke Combs fight video. There's no way, just because I played that video alone, I don't think that, because at one point we're talking about, is it okay to hit a girl? So I don't think that that video is going to go fly one little bit. So. But hey, what are we gonna fucking do? I want to keep it the way it is. So who knows? Maybe we eventually down the road have to move to Twitter or something. I don't know. But that's
it's not Twitter anymore. Don't.
X. It. That's right. I forgot. Don't name it. That's pretty good. So I got a couple comments to read. I got one that came in from one of the members of the league, Crooked Orchids. It came in while I was sick. Said, wow, I feel better, man. I really need a distraction from life. It's been getting to me. Health is the most important thing, and self-care. I've been pulling double duty. My husband's been having seizures, and we're trying to figure it out. Yesterday, I just had a day. So long story short, looking forward to your return, heal up, brother. Well, Crooked Orchids, we're back, and I hope your husband's doing well. And speaking of seizures, I remember that Mitch McConnell video that we played a while back where he froze up, and we thought... there's really never been an explanation for what happened there. A lot of the medical experts, that would be a good reason to freeze up. But take it from me, go find a mud puddle to sit in or something like that. At least try to cover it up. Don't just freeze there, because the people behind him would have noticed. Trust me, people notice when you shit your pants. He was wearing a brown Latan suit too, so it could have gotten really ugly back there. But anyway. It turns out a lot of the medical experts I was seeing, they thought that he had to have it was probably a seizure that he had versus a stroke, which is what I thought he had. So a comment that made me laugh, a couple of them actually I got for saying the same thing. The other day when we had PDJ came on, and I think I saw him in the chat there earlier. He told a story about seeing a UFO, and I don't know, a couple days before that or the day before that, another viewer, Pilot X, he had told a story about seeing a UFO where he described the lights on the UFO as looking like an old rotary phone. You know, the ones where you stick your finger in and it would rotate and go around and all that, do that stuff. Well, PDJ, you know, PDJ came on.
Yeah.
Don't say it because I'm going to play it.
I remember it.
PDJ came on. I know, I did too. I was just letting him go because he was on the show and I didn't want to bust his balls. But other people, I knew people would notice it. I was surprised you didn't say anything at the time. But yes, when PDJ was on, he was trying to describe the lights and how they differed from what he saw, or from what he and Pilot X saw. So I think I have it queued up pretty close. I'm just playing this off of YouTube, so I'm hoping an ad doesn't pop up because I'm just playing it off of YouTube and I don't have the premium one. I'm not logged into that account. So let's hope this plays without an ad. But here is PDJ talking about giving his description of the lights. Where's this at? Here we go. Where's the volume? Why is there no volume on that? Oh, there we go. Hold on.
A panel that was yellow and they would change frequently. They like fluctuated. It was
Wow.
Yeah,
So
it was really
different-
crazy. And
Different than a little different than Pilot X's though, because Pilot X said it was just one big beam of light that like kind of came down from
he
the
said
craft.
that and he said it looked like a rotisserie phone. I didn't have that experience. So everything that I saw,
So that's what everybody is laughing about. That's what some of the comments that I got here were saying. David Mold said, did PDJ just say rotisserie phone? Charlie Rex says, haha, PDJ just said a rotisserie phone, not a rotary phone. Effing love you, PDJ. Love the show, dumb. So I thought that was hilarious when he said it. And it's interesting to know that the aliens are up there making chickens. You know what I'm saying? I love a good rotisserie chicken. So maybe they've perfected it compared to what the rest of the world's doing. All right, cool. I was able to pull you up. I can see you there too. So that made me laugh really hard. PDJ, I saw him in there for a second, so he must have bounced. I was trying to bring it up a little bit earlier, but hey, whatever.
No, he's still in there.
Is he? All right.
Yeah, he's still in there. Him and Diz are going at it pretty good in the chat about who makes more money, and they're gonna meet up and fight.
Oh yeah, let me try to. PDJ. That's a fight you don't want. This is a big motherfucker. And I mean, his hand would take you by your head and just he could pick you up like a basketball with his hand. I mean, he's a large man.
He didn't get that nickname for nothing.
Yeah, so I would prefer if we did not escalate things to that point where we're talking about going to people's houses and stuff. That just gets everybody in trouble. All right, take it from me. It just causes headaches you guys don't want. Just
Let's put the chat in the icebox.
right. I don't know how to do that. I could probably do that. Actually, there's probably a way to do that. But no, I would appreciate it if you guys want to insult each other all you want. That's great. I don't care. But I would appreciate it if it didn't escalate to the point of physical threats, etc. But hey, I can't tell you guys what the fuck to do. I can just tell you what I hope you'll do. Mikey, speaking of the recap, we talked about I played the video of that cop going down that slide in Baltimore, or excuse me, Boston.
Yeah.
So immediately after the show ended, and right after the show ends, usually I will start looking just for about 10 minutes in a little decompression. I'll start looking to see what's going on in the news, just like stuff I might have missed in the last 2 hours, just because I'm a psychopath about FOMO. And so the first story that popped up was that a Boston cop goes down slide in viral video, gets a head injury in viral video. So the video that we laughed so heartily about This
God, I've watched that video so many more times today too.
Yeah, where is it actually? I was just getting ready to pull it up. I actually closed my files here. So yeah, let's take a peek at that actually, because it is worth another look. Where's he at? Cop goes down slide. Now, the good thing about it, Mikey, it turns out this slide too, this is the video from yesterday. So this is good. If you missed it yesterday, this is a cop. God damn, that's loud. This is a cop coming down, some Boston cop, for whatever reason, they just redid this playground, and they put in what's known as one of the longest slides. And here it is. Rattle, rattle, rattle. Poof, poof, boom.
Oh God!
Ah, damn. So I don't know where the actual head injury happens. If it's where he bounces his head off the side.
I think it's right there.
You think that's the one that did it? Because to me, he already looks limp.
He looks out. Yeah, he does look out.
I'm wondering if
Like
coming
the
around
end of
that
the slide
turn.
woke him up.
Yeah, coming around that turn, maybe he might have bonked his head somehow. Because I also don't understand how the fuck he ends up on his stomach. And the craziest part of it is, like I said, this is not the only person who has had this happen to them on this slide. I found another video of this slide, Mikey. God damn it. All these stupid songs. All right, so here you go. And we'll lose the rattle then. We'll do it maybe right at the end. Here's another one. Teacher coming. Wow, so you can't even hear her do it. Yeah, but so it's the same thing. She comes flying
I
down.
bet you that it looks like that first corner they end up turning over onto their belly to make that. She was way up on the side, dude.
That must be what it does.
She takes that corner so fast, she's riding the rails up on the side, and then just throws you against the wall.
It's like a fucking bobsled thing that, it shoots you up and up along the sides. And I'm wondering if it's actually like flipping you over too, because the way you're spinning up that side, see how there's that little crick right at the top? I'm thinking that's what's twisting him and sending him out, because
oh my God,
she does the same thing, man. But she hits her knee instead of her crotch. Boom. Then the face.
Her face.
Yep.
Oh my God, that slide is so great. I can watch videos of kids and people going down that thing all day. Well, I bet you kids go down it nice and slow. They don't pick up that big head of steam.
Probably. Well, it's funny that you said that, because now there's a whole, it's gone to, the story went so viral that the Boston News has contacted, they got in touch with the Boston police, the Boston mayor, Michelle Wu, to talk to her to see what she thinks about this. And she was kind of a little confused about it. But the reason they asked her for her comment was because obviously he's a cop in full uniform. He got injured doing it. I guess he ended up using his own medical insurance to treat the wounds, so he didn't, or whatever his wounds were, or injuries. And he ended up not missing any work. So it must not have been that bad of an injury. I'm wondering if he just got a really bad case of rug burn or a bad concussion or something, maybe, from banging his head going down that thing, or scraping it when he hit the ground at the bottom. But the mayor commented on it, saying, we want all of our public spaces to be beloved, and it looks like we need to make sure that there's more signage, that this is for children only or something. I don't know. If we have to do that, we'll do that too. So yeah, it seems as though the mayor is now involved, and it's made it all the way to City Hall at this point. So sorry, officer. I hope you're okay. Really didn't mean to make fun of you that much, because I've been through worse. I'm not gonna lie. So I have the right. Oh man, I did. It's funny. I got like wrapped up in one of these. Jelly's asking me, "Dumb, have you seen the one with the cop stuck on the fence with crap pants?" I think so. Yeah, it's an old one. I think I've seen that, but you can send it to me just in case. That sounds funny. I don't remember. I forgot what I was getting ready to say. Anyway, I got distracted because I saw one of the things I wanted to talk about here. Is I've created an F1 monster. I got a text right before the show started from Brady, my son. He earned some money, and he's been mowing grass, and he's been saving up his money. He's supposed to be saving it up towards a car. Instead, he decided to buy a fake car and bought himself a racing wheel. He's got a racing wheel and pedals now, Mikey, so He's
Oh,
part of the.
nice.
Yeah, so he's got his own little setup. He sent me a picture of it. I didn't have time to get it. It was right before we started, so I didn't have time to pull it. But he's super excited. And I told him, I was like, all right, perfect. Here's what you got to do. You got to get the EA Play Pass and it's $5, and then you can get F122. And he goes, I've already been playing it for a couple days. And I was like, oh, yeah, buddy. So that made me feel good. I know that's like
That's
my
a bonding thing for sure.
it is, and it's like him hearing me talk about something that I'm really into, and then him going, "Oh, cool, my dad's into it. Well, I should probably check it out and be into it." And he's come down, and he's watched a little bit of racing with me and stuff. So I think I think he got the bug, man. So I'm so excited. I got a racing buddy, and hopefully he can sit and watch races with me, and he's going to learn how to race, and because he loves cars. And I've been telling him, I go, Brady, if you like cars, you need to check out these F1 cars because they are unbelievably high tech. And if you're into the mechanics behind all of it and the engineering behind it, that's what this is all about. So it's called the Constructor Series, for Christ's sake. So you got to get into that, dude.
Speaking of racing, we didn't even talk about the end of the Pocono race on Sunday too. Denny Hamlin getting put into the wall in the last lap.
Did they do that to him? Because I stopped watching it. Who did it? Did Kyle Larson do it?
I think that's who it was. I don't even know.
Was
who
it?
I
Because that was
an interview, and they talked a little bit. Whoever it was, they bumped him a little bit, and he still denies it.
Was that okay, because the week before, going into this race, there was worries that there were going to be fights. There was, I think, LaJoy got into an actual fight in the pits with somebody after the race. I can't remember what race it was prior to this one. I don't know. There was a couple different battles going on. Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin have a battle going on where a couple races ago, Kyle Larson was pissed at Denny Hamlin for running him up into the wall. So Kyle Larson whacked him on a yellow lap, just rolled up and whacked him. So
I like it.
It was great. I love that kind of. That's the only thing. That's why NASCAR keeps my attention now is the crashing and the bumping and the rubbing, because Formula One is more.
It's got that
opposite.
late '80s, early '90s feel to it. The guys going to the blows in the pits, and
this dude.
When I was a kid, used to watch like Tony Stewart would take his helmet off and throw it at cars to break their windshield when they were driving by.
This LaJoy dude straight up walked right up the guy. It was, and you could see the dash cam from. Well, I don't. It was like the rear trunk cam looking at the side of the car, down the side of the car. There's the drivers. I can't remember which driver it was. It was still in the car. Then LaJoy walks up and he leans in the window and he goes, "You effing son of a bitch!" And he reaches in and he's shaking. "What do you think you're doing?" He was pissed at him. And then like he got dragged away or whatever. But yeah, I'm wondering who put Hamlin in the wall then. I'm wondering if it was Kyle Larson who did that, because if he did, talk about a comeback, that's just only gonna escalate things if he actually got retaliation on the track. Which I you know what? That's why I'm all for those fights in the pits, because hopefully let them blow that steam off, punch somebody in the face and give them a black eye, versus, going 180 miles an hour and smacking into each other, and potentially, sending a tire flying into the stands or a car, just pinwheeling through the air or something like that. I really, just let them brawl. You know what I mean? Make that a little side card for us, if anything else. I love watching that shit. I saw you looking down. Were you able to find it down there?
It was actually Hamlin that put Larson into the wall to win the race at Pocono. I watched it backwards.
I think that's what.
Hamlin's move to beat Kyle Larson at Pocono.
That's what I was.
Published on July 30th.
So what am I? Wait, did that happen twice then? I'm so confused. Maybe I'm mixed. You know what? Maybe this is my sick brain mixing everything up, because don't forget I was sick over the weekend. So everything that I was watching was, you know what I mean? I was in a bit of a haze. So who knows? I have no idea. So yeah, I created an F1 racing monster with my son. I'm looking forward to, and it turns out, I've been talking to my mom, because I know my mom likes Formula One. Turns out my dad was, my mom's a big into racing. She loves racing. But apparently when her and my dad were married, they used to go to Formula One races up at Watkins Glen. So apparently my dad was really into Formula One when he was
Oh, shit.
like, yeah, when I was a baby, and I didn't even know that. I only thought he liked NASCAR, so that was kind of cool to find that out. So I got to talk to him about it and see if he's started watching it again or anything like that. So cool, that'll be fun to do. I'm looking forward to that because man, I'd love to go. You know, I was thinking about this though. Actually, I don't think going to a Formula One race would be that fun because they go by so fast and you can't see anything except one turn
but
or
you'll
maybe
have-
one straightaway.
You'll have the screens. You'll have giant screens in front of you to watch the entire race.
Yeah,
There's not a corner there. There's not a corner there. That's like saying, I know a lot of people used to say that about going to like the road course that's out here because I'm only about an hour and 20 minutes from Watkins Glen.
Yeah, that's why that's where my dad and my mom would go was Watkins Glen. That they would go there all the time, I guess,
and
when I was a kid.
There's not a bad seat there, no matter where you're sitting, even though you only get to see the cars every 3 or 4 minutes or whatever it is. To watching it on the screens, you can still hear the cars the entire time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, when I was at Mid Ohio, I could see everything. So, all right. Well, I'll have to keep that in mind then because I was thinking NASCAR would be more fun because I feel like you could see, especially on an oval track, you can see everything the whole time. You know what I mean?
I mean,
feel like in the
I want to go to
grandstand,
Bristol so bad.
that would be a cool race to go to. Bristol, Martinsville.
Yeah.
Bristol just for the bank to see that on the bank would be really cool. I gotta go back and watch that. I never watched that mud race that they did there that you told me
The
about.
dirt race there in April or May, whatever it was.
I gotta check that out. All right. So today I'm excited about it being number 78, issue number 78. I'm excited about my son being into racing. A little bit of a depressing day.
It's no good.
No, it wasn't. First thing, I'm not a billionaire. That sucks. Wasted $20 on the stupid Mega Millions and literally got, I think, out of all my 10 plays or whatever, I spent $20. I got 10 plays. I got like 3 numbers the whole time. So that depressed me. I felt like a degenerate gambler, and I never gamble, and it made me feel like a complete like dirtbag gambler for wasting money.
I was up $80 on Saturday night gambling during the UFC fights. I got a new way to gamble during the UFC fights. Starting with the if I know the prelims, I'll put $10 on the first fight, and then I go till I lose. So if I win on the first fight, then I'll take all the winnings, bet it on the second fight. Then I'll take all the winnings, bet it on the third fight. Even if I'm betting favorites or anything like that, I'm not betting with my heart. But this past weekend, I went from $10 to $12 to $16 to $48 to $86, and then I put $86 on a fight that was like it's considered a toss-up. The odds were the same.
Okay.
And I picked wrong on that one, and that would have been $160. And then I would have picked the correct fighter for the last fight, which was the underdog, and I would have won even more money. So I would have been like up 500, but instead I pushed it too far and lost $80.
That sucks.
But really, I only lost $10. But you shouldn't feel like a degenerate gambler. Nobody won, so now I get a chance at it too. Now I'm about to go drop $100 tomorrow.
Yeah, dude, are you kidding me? Yeah, because nobody won, so it's up to like 1.125 billion or something like that. It's crazy. So, yeah, I'm probably gonna end up going to buy it again. I felt like a real idiot buying those tickets, man. He's like, "Do you want the kicker with it?" And I'm like, "I don't know what that means." I go, "Do I need the kicker to win $1 billion?" And he goes, It's the kicker. I go, is that the ball I need to pick to get the main money? I don't understand. Just tell me. I go, I want to win $1 billion. I have $20 here, lump sum. That's it. That's it. That's all I know. Those are the words I know. Here you go.
I need 50 quick picks, all on their own ticket, please. I'll stand here and wait. Thank you. And then everyone gets pissed behind me because the guy's got to sit there and go beep, 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 and wait for it to print 50 individually lotto tickets.
Why do you want them individual?
I don't like them all in the same one. I feel like shenanigans happen if they print $25 or 25 picks per ticket. I don't like it. Nope.
You don't like the way the computer's randomizing your numbers?
Nope. I like him to have to do it individually every time.
Does he get annoyed when you ask him to do that? Yeah, but he goes, fuck it.
Everyone gets annoyed.
Mikey gives 0 fucks.
Wait till I go in the next morning and I have 50 individual tickets and I have to stand there and go, hey, beep, loser. Beep, loser. And all the people that are waiting to check their tickets really quick on their way to work, and I'm just sitting there taking my time. Fuck you. Fuck
Mine, mine was easy. I just looked. I only had 10 plays or whatever, so it was easy to figure it out. I was like, I won nothing here. 2 numbers. That's it.
I don't even look at the numbers. I don't want to know if any of them match. I want to have my moment of winning to be caught naturally on a security camera at a 7-Eleven.
Oh, see, I want to be totally anonymous. I wouldn't want anybody to know about it at all.
Local man gets arrested for getting naked, jumping on top of the 7-Eleven counter with $1 billion ticket. That's what I want the news article to read.
Johnson swinging in the air.
Just like that dude at the casino.
Speaking of that, now there might have been a lady. Where's this at, actually? Did you see that video of that lady when the Powerball?
No.
Where is that video? Lotto? I might have lost it. I don't know where it is. Anyway, there was a video of a lady supposedly almost kind of similar to what happened. Like, somehow, I think with the Powerball, they found out that whatever store sold it or something like that. And this lady came in like screaming and crying and saying, I need security, I need protection. And everybody's like, is it you? Did you win? And all this stuff. And she's like, I don't know what to do. And just crying and all this stuff. So, I don't know if it was actually the lady who won or not. So,
God, my God, I would go so nuts.
I don't. I think I would actually, it would mellow me out more because because that's where all my anxiety is wrapped up in not.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I would go nuts. Like that, I just went from being stressed about money to having few money the rest of my life.
Go nuts, just excited nuts. I thought you meant
Yeah,
like you'd go nuts.
that's what I'm saying. I'd be naked running around the parking lot. I don't give a shit.
Well, you're gonna get arrested, and then you won't be able to claim your cash, man.
I'm in New York State, dude. There ain't no bail or nothing here. They're gonna give me an appearance ticket for running around the parking lot naked.
I forgot about that.
I claim to be a drug addict or crazy or something. I'll have to go do a 72-hour hold like I've done 4 other times in my life. I get passed by the psychiatrist. I'll be good to go.
You can murder somebody in New York, and it's like $5,000 to get out, I think, or something at this point. So
do whatever you want in New York State, just like California.
Now I have a question for you, Mikey. I noticed something over the past couple of weeks. I feel like you've actually been a little extra edgy lately, and I'm wondering if something's going on.
Yeah, you haven't been taking my meds?
No, I actually hadn't even considered that, to tell you the truth. I was just truly curious because I'm just picking up something almost. I don't know how to explain it. Just like a edginess is the only way I can really explain it. Really, maybe.
I haven't been taking my meds.
Really?
No.
Wow. Since when?
I don't know. Remember I told you I had that little confession on the radio a couple weeks or on the podcast a couple weeks ago that I'd been struggling taking them.
Yeah. That was a couple weeks ago, and then you said you started taking them.
I took them for like a couple days, and then I ran out of one, and then I got all pissed off at the system for them charging me $500 every time I get a shot. In which I'm going back to that facility tomorrow. But yeah, I haven't been taking it. I remember I listed off all them pills. I stopped taking 3 of the medications. Mm-hmm. Actually, 4 of the medications I've stopped taking. So all I'm taking is the anti-psych meds, the Abilify and the Zoloft is all I'm taking every day.
Right.
I'm not taking the gabapentin, the baclofen, the Clonidine. I'm not taking that medication to stop me from drinking. So if I went out and got drunk right now, I wouldn't get sick.
Oh, wow. So is that on your mind? Are you fighting that battle at all? Or
I don't think so. I mean, I love pushing the limits. You know what I'm saying? Like smelling the wine bottle and stuff like that. Like when they were drinking the buttery Chardonnay the other day, I was always, trying to steal kisses from my girlfriend because she tasted like a liquor bottle. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh man.
But like, if I wanted to drink, I would drink. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's not a part of me like I know where that ends up. Like at this point in my life, if I do hard drugs or if I drink alcohol, then I end up in rehab. Like, period. I end up suicidal or I end up in rehab, but it still doesn't mean like I don't like miss it sometimes. And this is like summertime, and I would just love to be normal and enjoy like a glass of wine with a J.
Yeah, I get it. I understand. But yeah, you get to a point where you know you can't do that anymore. And it's, who knows, maybe down the road that'll change. I don't know. Everybody's different. My mom, she was an alcoholic and was really bad and had to stop like cold for the longest time. But then she was in AA and everything, used to take me to her AA meetings and everything with her. But when I was little,
Coolest
so that's
people in the world.
it's a
Coolest
very
cult in the world.
interesting experience, that's for sure. Little kid.
It
was
is a
very
cult, for sure.
confusing. It's very confusing watching all these people stand up and say all these horrible things that they've done. It didn't make any sense to me. I was like, why the fuck would you tell all these people that? So maybe that's why I'm so open with my life, because I witnessed AA at an early
man.
age. So, well, is there something, like, in my experience with you, there's always something else that's like underlying, that's driving your self-destructive behavior? Is there something else going on that is like, is it work stress, life stress? Usually that's what causes you to make those.
And you're right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I'm hanging on to resentments with my girlfriend for a lot longer than I should be. I'm not being the best boyfriend. Like, I noticed it last weekend when we were going out to do something, and I think I mentioned that I pissed her off at Wegmans because I was huffing and puffing and rushing her, and I get resentful. I'm like, oh, I do all this stuff, but what do I get in return? And I start getting this like,
oh, you're keeping
stuck
score.
in this.
Can't
I'm
keep
getting
score.
in this selfish mindset. I really do. And then
It's hard,
that's where
man.
the selfish, like, I'm beating myself up for not going to the gym as much as I should be. Like, I just can't get the motivation back to lift the way I used to. Like, I'm lifting. I'm doing like 2-3 days a week, you know, enough to stay fit, but I'm not, I stopped taking the testosterone, so it killed my libido.
Oh no.
So like the last like 3 weeks, like my libido's been shit.
Take one of those blue chews you got, man. That shit'll pop right back up like nothing, man.
I started jabbing myself in the ass again on Monday, and I jabbed myself in the ass again today. So it goes right back to working instantly. Yesterday morning's the first morning I woke up a morning wood in like a month.
Yeah, it's amazing how the medicine works, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah, the testosterone happens quick. Like, and I mean, like I said, it's 2 days, and like I'm jonesing to get done with the podcast tonight because I'm going over to my girl's house tonight.
Oh, okay. Oh, so
maybe
you're
I
excited.
just need maybe I need to take out some frustration or something. Like, I don't know. Like,
there's
definitely been some pent up stuff going on.
I was wondering,
us not finishing her move, and I tend to carry her stress when she's stressed, and then I turn it into my own, and yeah. But you're right on, man. I didn't realize it was showing that much.
Oh yeah, I could tell for sure, because you're usually, when you're in you're happy-go-lucky, and you're not as quick triggered as you have been too when you're not going through whatever. So
True.
I was wondering if it had to do with like her parents coming in town, like stress about that, if they like maybe like what they think of you, or like have you met them before? I'm assuming you have, because it's been a long time. So
they met me at my worst, dude. I remember the first time her mom came up, I was loaded the entire time.
Oh really? I'm assuming they knew.
Oh yeah, she definitely knew, and that's when some crazy shit went down, and I jumped in my girlfriend's car window when she was driving away. Like, yeah, dude, it was bad.
So, needless to say, they're probably tolerant of you, but not the biggest fans of you after 2 years.
They're warming up to me quite a bit, because the amount that I help her, and I'm there for Oliver, and the amount of good things that Oliver says about me and stuff like that. Right. So.
That's her son you're talking about, so in case people don't know. But that's another question I had. So he's not staying with your girlfriend, his mom, right now. He's staying with his dad somewhere else.
Yep.
Why did they choose to come now when the kid's not there? I thought that was weird.
It's because right now when they get back home to where they're going, out of state, he's going to be there. He's like 15 minutes away from them, so they can see him all summer. And whenever, they had vacation time, they wanted to come help her. They want to get her as organized as she can before the school year starts and everything like that. Because, we got that vast, quickly approaching, in which my schedule then changes abruptly. 8 out of every 12 days, I'm babysitting. I'm getting him on the bus 8 out of 12 days when she's working. I can't
Oh,
be staying at
wow.
my place. I'm going to be staying there because
Jeez, that's
she works shift work. So my entire world gets turned upside down in like 6 weeks.
I'll be damned. I'll be damned. So that's geez. So is that part of maybe what you know that's coming? That's a major life change. You just got a lot to
Dude,
do.
it
You got a
feels
lot
like
on your plate.
bro, it feels like I'm about to start like school again.
Yeah.
Like the school year's coming. Like I haven't had this like sense of impending doom. I haven't even thought about it. I haven't written in my journal. I haven't done anything. So I'm actually like, as I'm telling you all this shit out loud right now, there's a lot of light bulbs in my head, like a crazy kid running down a hallway hitting light switches. I'm like, oh dang, 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 dang.
This is
Figuring
making
out.
sense now. Why you're feeling the way you are and why things are going the way they've been or whatever.
Yeah,
or-
dude, I have this impending sense of doom already. I'm hanging on to this resentment. Like,
Yeah.
why do I have to watch the kid? Of course I want to watch the kid.
Right.
You know what
but,
I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
but yeah,
I
there's
love it, but it's also I'm selfish as shit.
right.
Like, I don't want the podcast timing to be messed up. I don't want my gym routine to be messed up. But at the same time, I'm barely motivated to go to the gym right now as it is.
Right. Well, don't let this ruin it. I mean, you can always. I can fly solo if I have to. Don't worry about that. So I'd rather you make
And
sure,
I'm still
like
going to
that.
be able to do the podcast. Like, he's going to
Yeah.
be going to bed at 7:15, 7:30 every night.
Yeah, I know. I just don't want to like. I don't want any. This don't add. Like, don't ever feel
No.
any sort of pressure. Like you'd ever need to. Like,
I
if you
don't.
got shit
This
to do.
is like
no.
my stress relief. Like
All right,
I
cool.
enjoy doing this. Like when she was like, "Oh, why don't you come over beforehand?" I'm like, "No, I enjoy like this 2 hours. Like I look forward to this every day. Like just shitting down and shooting the shit. You know what I'm saying?"
Perfect. Good stuff. Well, I'm glad we were able to flip a few light bulbs there for you. Are you planning on? Well, it seems as though you're taking the most important ones, though. Taking the anti-psych, the Abilify, and all that shit. Like
I just started taking those ones again too. Let's be real.
Okay, that's yeah. So, well, don't you get
when I said that, like I should have said when I start taking all of my meds again, I only have intentions of taking 2 of them.
Yeah, definitely take those. But I got a question for you. Like, don't you get really bad withdrawals if you don't take those?
Mm-mm. Well, yeah, probably. That's probably why my mood has been all over the place, and my anxiety and my sleep is all fucked up. And
Yeah.
if I have 30 ounces of iced coffee, I grip my teeth so hard I feel like I'm doing other things, and it gives me so much anxiety to drink coffee, but I still can't wake up all day. It's horrible.
Well, Shark, he sent in a super fan donation there. He said, just throw some dabs in your labs. I don't know what that means. Labs? I don't know what a lab is. Is that a
Lavender.
Oh, dabs in your labs. Ah, I'm a dipshit. Good stuff. All right, Shark. There you go. So yeah, all right, cool. I hope that I hope you start taking those again, man. It's so funny. My mom had mentioned that she was worried about it, and I was like, nah, he'll be fine. He's gonna take them. I'm not worried about that at all. And then sure enough, she was right. So good, mom. Very, very intuitive old bitch is.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys asking too, because I'm the type of asshole that'll just keep letting it get worse and worse, and then my behaviors will become worse and more selfish, and then I'll start blaming it on her, and then the relationship will get toxic, and then before you know it, I'll be drinking again all alone. It'll be horrible.
It's part of why I asked. I was because I could just tell something was up. Like you are not like while you can be a ragey kind of dude, you're generally pretty happy-go-lucky. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And like overall. So when you stop being that way, it makes me concerned. It makes me believe that there's something going on. And it's not like those meds make you happy-go-lucky. It's just they level you out so you're not having as many highs and as many lows or whatever.
I noticed a difference right away. You know what I'm saying? Like I started taking them again, I think on like Sunday night, and now I've got them next to my bed at night, so there's no more excuse of like when I get into bed, I'm like, I gotta go all the way back downstairs. Nope, they're right next to there. I don't need water to take pills, so I just eat them.
Yeah, well, that's gross. That tastes so gross when you have to do that. I hate that. So every once in a while I'll do that. Like if I forget a bottle of water to take up with me to bed.
I'm a professional pill popper, dumb.
They hit your tongue sometimes. They get stuck. Like it just happens. Even if you're a pro at it, it just happens every once in a while. Especially because I smoke so much, where they got dry mouth. So it's the worst.
I used to chew all the pills I would eat.
Well, I did that with Addies. That was my. I chewed those things like it was going out of style. Man.
They were sweet.
They weren't bad. Those orange 60s
they're
weren't
sweet.
bad at all. Yep, they weren't too terrible. Little, I mean, obviously bitter, but they did have a little
Sweet taste.
sweetness to them. Yeah, they really did actually. So,
I love the drip from those. I used to love the drip from those.
I did it because the only drip I ever liked was the nose candy drip, and once that, because you just can't beat that. There's just
And that's only the first drip too. That's the only one you're gonna enjoy because everything's numb after that.
Nah, I would try to wait as long as I could. I would try to hold off until I would get a drip again a little bit, just enough to where it would because I enjoyed that so much. So that's why I would try to hold off.
You had a lot more.
I didn't have enough
self-control.
I didn't have enough stuff. Was usually the problem too. So I was really trying, and I was always worried
Did
that
you
I would.
have people that used to give you a big line of credit? You had nobody anybody that I knew back in the day that used to push that stuff. You know, it's like they give you like a $1,500 line of credit.
Mm-mm. Nope. Every once in a while, maybe a ball here and then, and it was only like overnight till like my paycheck came in or something like that. You know,
Dude,
that was about it.
I remember making phone calls at 2:00 in the morning on Friday to shoot another 3 games of pool and be like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna have your money till Thursday," and he'd be like, "All right, I got you."
Oh, if that, I probably would have ended up a lot like you if that would ever happen. That was always the problem. I never had enough money. I never had enough money to go that far into it, and I'd end up spending because the lavender came first. That always like
that shit went right by the wayside.
That's got to come first.
As soon as it started snowing, I was chopping trees down and throwing them away.
No, that stuff always was. I had to make sure I had that before I spent money on anything else. That was always. So I'd always spend too much on that. So, but yeah, no. I'm definitely glad I never got a huge amount of credit for that because I would have gotten myself into a lot of trouble.
And all this talk about that, I gotta go poop now.
Well, speaking of trouble and people who are at least covered in shit, our old friend.
What a good transition.
Thank you. Well, it's very apropos because I'm talking about Lizzo. We did talk about her last night and all the charges that are out against her right now, and the lawsuit that the lawsuit she's facing for what is it? Basically sexual degradation, I believe, was one of the terms. That she's because she was making all her backup dancers watch sex shows and all this crazy shit. And the most the part of the story that's the most salacious is the part with the banana, with the girls putting. I guess there's an actual banana show in Amsterdam in the red light district where this happened, and because she made one of her backup dancers, or 3 of them, I guess, watch this banana show. Where Lizzo said she needed to get her potassium, which is pretty funny actually. Yeah, it was pretty good, right? I laughed when I read that she said that, but it turns out that because yesterday we were trying to figure out was it one of the little rooms, like a girl that was in a room and she was taking a banana and saying come on in. Or where is there some sort of like strip club kind of place that does this? Well, it turns out, I'll let Lizzo explain it. There's she's on some show over there in Amsterdam where they speak English. And this was back, I think, in either 2016 or 2019. I can't remember when this was.
It had to be 2019. She wasn't around 2016.
Yeah, it was 2019. You're right. Good call, Mikey. 2019. So she actually goes on this show. What was the name of this show? She was on the 3FM DJ Frank Vonderlande, learning about Amsterdam. So I'll let Lizzo explain what she's looking for back in 2019. Why is there no audio? Oh, I had it muted. There we go. Here we go. Here's Lizzo.
I had a day off yesterday, so I got some
damn.
rest finally. Or kind of, it's Amsterdam, so we partied.
Well, I saw what you did yesterday because I follow you on Instagram. And I saw on the Insta stories you were on the red light district.
Yeah, we were.
You were to the Casa Rosso.
Oh my God, how do you know that?
Yeah, because I lived for 4 years on the red light district, in the middle of the red light district. So I recognized a lot of places. And I saw that you saw a live sex show. Please tell me everything about the sex show.
It was people fucking, man. It was crazy. They were just doing it, but you know what? It was beautiful.
Yeah?
I went to the one show where it was like a couple, and they were like passionately making love.
But really passionate?
It was really, they kissed. They kissed after, I'm not going to say what she did. But I'm trying to go to the show where you eat the banana out the pussy. Which one is that?
This is a banana bar.
Well, that's the banana bar?
Yeah, you
and
were
they
at
have
the
the
banana
banana
bar.
in the coochie?
And ping pong balls.
And you have to go,
Yes. And
That's what I wanna do.
Then you have to eat it.
I need my potassium, if you know what I'm saying. My potassium.
So there you go. So there's Lizzo talking about it back
Damn
in
it, I
2019.
I want to not like her. Like, I hate her. But god damn it, she just seems likable now. And I want to party with her. I'm ready to relapse.
You know what? It's actually a pretty good point, man. She does sound like a good time. A lot of fun. Now,
Like,
her
right?
backup,
Like,
her
I don't
backup,
like anything she's about right now or the body positivity and all that shit, but she seems like she's down for a party.
That's a good point. Maybe Mikey, you might have just changed my opinion on Lizzo. And now that she's canceled, I officially have to start liking Lizzo. Because, you know, she's doing stuff that I was trying to do. And like when we went to the Oktoberfest thing, that's how B1 and I got in a huge ass fight. Because I wanted to take JLR to a brothel. And she lost her shit. And we got in a huge ass fucking fight about it. And I'm like, what is the big fucking deal? Who cares? We're taking Jeffrey. I'm not going to do it. We're taking Jeffrey to go do it.
Well, I mean, given your track record.
Apparently that was what the problem was. Well, no, she was. Well, no, I found out.
History is cyclical, Dom. History is cyclical.
Well, I'd let that girl, that German girl, motorboat me earlier in the night, and she was still mad about that. So that was what she was really upset
you
about.
had talked
Yeah.
about that. You had talked about that, and she was upset about that.
Oh man, that really pissed her off, and I thought that was the most innocent, silly, goofball thing. But for whatever reason, she really thought that was like a sexual thing or something like that. And I'm like, you think when girls let Jeffrey motorboat him, it's sexual? I go, no, it's well, for him it is, not for the girls.
I was about to say, for him it is.
For him, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't for that girl because I'm a guy doing man boobs with the big hairy ass chest. What's sexy about that? It's gross. Give me a fucking break. But yeah, so yeah, speaking of going through a funk, man, she is B1, or you said you're going through a funk. She is too right now. I saw her today and we were talking, we'd been talking through text and everything. And then I saw her for a little bit. We ran to the dispensary and she's just going through it. I don't know. And I don't necessarily think it has to do with me and her and I and our situation. She's just genuinely unhappy about everything. Like I don't think she could actually put her finger on one thing that is upsetting her. It's just such
life in general.
Yeah, like she said something to me today that actually made me worried about her. I don't want to say because I don't want to. Yeah, it just made me really, really worried about her, and I don't know what.
Something she said out of character.
Yeah, well, yeah, just a little bit too deep into how upset she is, if that makes sense. So,
Yeah.
And I just don't know what to do. I'm not really sure how to. I try to give her space, but then I want to be there for her, but I don't want to be overwhelming either. So but then there's this going back to like how you're saying resentment or selfishness or whatever, and I'm like, the selfish part of me is like, look, dude, it's been like 8 months since this all started going down, and you found out about everything that happened, and she thinks I don't feel bad about that, and of course I do. Of course I do. So it's just like, the selfish part of me is like, are we gonna actually talk about this? Or are you too depressed because of everything else is going on in your life that we can't even talk about us? But, at some point you got to consider me, and, I know you're mad at me, but we got to figure something out as far as our relationship. What are we doing here at this point? So today's obviously not the day to do that to her. So if you're watching, I'm not trying to put that pressure on you by any means, B1, because I know you're going through it, but I just, no, I feel bad for her because I think she wants to, have a therapist and stuff to go to. But like you're saying, it's so goddamn expensive. for all that kind of stuff, medications and then therapy itself, all of it. It's just outrageous. So I think
She's
that's
got a
really
full-time job though, right? She got insurance through the
yeah,
place?
but the mental health coverage is really shitty. So it's really expensive. I think she's got to pay something outrageous like $75 per visit or something like that, and she's at a point where she really needs it
Dude, there's
almost
so many
weekly.
places. There's so many places that'll work with you and do it for so much cheaper if there's no coverage or stuff like BetterHelp or Talkspace or something like that. There's so many online services now that are so much better and it's
I
so
think
much more affordable.
she had to do a
Like there's a giant
workaround.
wave.
I know, but she just she's not been able to find it. Every time she does it, like looks into it, it's always just more expensive than she can afford. So I feel bad for her because she's really going through it right now. And obviously there's part of me that feels like she is, I'm part of the problem. It's part of why she's feeling the way she is, and because of everything I put her through.
Also, just run up a bunch of medical bills and don't pay them. Who gives a shit?
I don't think these people will even see her without like paying. And it's really just like
you just got to pay the first few co-pays to build up the trust. It's the same as going to the plug. You just got to earn their trust a little bit, and then you start paying every other week, and then you start paying every 3 weeks. Then you start paying once a month, and then before you know it, they owe you like you owe them like $2,000, and then we're gonna send you to collections, and you say, okay, go ahead.
Right on. Well,
And I don't think never going against your credit score because it's a medical bill.
I don't think she wants to get into any more debt or anything like that. I think the whole thing with the move and the apartment kind of screwed her over for a little bit. So, people can say
that's where it differs. I wouldn't care what the price was. If my therapy went up to $100 a week or $200 a week, that's my sanity. I can't put a price on that. I wouldn't be able to live without therapy.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell her. I mean, I don't know what her income is or what's what, and I don't really get involved with that anymore. So I don't know what she's paying for and everything. So I'm not really sure. I don't know what to do. I like I said, I'm trying to give her all the space she wants, but like she has been kind of like she started being more coming over more a little bit and like seeing me more, and then all of a sudden that kind of slowed down over the past week. So I don't know if that was just because I was sick, but she did stop over at least while I was sick a couple times, and she ran and got medicine for me one time. So that was nice of her. So yeah, I don't know what to do at this point. Drew Schaefer says the only thing she's going through is other guys when Dumb isn't around. I don't think that's the case. If you guys talked to her, saw her, you wouldn't, this isn't somebody who's like, super duper happy. You know what I mean? So I'm not really sure what, this isn't somebody who's out looking for a quick lay. It's just not. It's just, you know what I mean? If she is, she's doing a really good job hiding it. Very, very good job. But there's not even a tiny, I usually get a very heavy inclination when I feel like she is, like being sneaky or whatever.
Being facetious, that spidey sense goes off, and we ignore it for a long time, and
yeah,
we shouldn't have ignored it because we were right. And yeah,
I was right almost every single time. So yeah, I'm not getting that vibe at all right now. I'm not. I'm really feel like this is somebody who's going through something right now, and it's like, again, I want to be there for her, but I'm trying to be like, give the space that you want. You know what I mean? So it's hard. It's a weird little juggle I'm doing right now. So the chat's going crazy. The league is not a huge fan of B1. So I don't need to read a lot of this stuff. Somebody said, cut her off completely and you'll see where you stand for sure. Drew says, see what she does to you, my man. Well, no, it's more, I actually care about her and I feel bad about what she's going through right now is my main problem. So, and I think that's natural, even if we're just friends. I feel bad for her because she's going through a lot. So, and there's nothing I can do to kind of fix that at this point. So, and that's part of the problem. I was always trying to be a fixer. So I got to tell myself not to be a fixer. And it's hard to do that sometimes. So who knows what will happen moving forward with her and I. But again, not super happy with her situation right now. I feel bad for her. So All right, we are going to take a quick break. When we come back from break, I have something I want to talk to all of you guys about. I need some advice. I have something I want to do with all of you, and I'm going to need some advice. I'm going to need some participants. So stick around. We're going to be right back on another Dumb Show. In the meantime, it is issue 78, guys. I've been asking you guys to see if we can get 78 likes on issue 78. That would be super cool for your old pal Dumb. So go ahead and do that. Hit that like button while we're going to break. And when you guys have an extra second, make sure you're subscribed if you're not already subscribed. That way you can chat in the League of Dummies. And if you've not already become a member, that is $1.99 a month. You just hit that join button, and it's one of the best ways to help support another Dumb Show other than, just hanging out and watching it. You know what I'm saying? So we were going to take a quick break. Of course, the second hour is always happy hour here on another Dumb Show. So go grab your delis. I'm going to go get a refill here. So go put the kids to bed. We'll be right back on another Dumb Show. Hang on. Woo-wee! Man, god damn. Wow. Man, I got some stuff from the dispensary today. Man, that shit is no joke. Woo! Holy cow. I can't remember the last time. I usually will rip 2 Bleezies to the dome, like back to back, all the time. Like that's my usual go-to. That's just how I roll. 2 Bleezies back to back. But boy, I tell you what, I couldn't even get through one a minute ago. I never have that problem. This is some. Oh, he's there. This is some Mikey. I got some fire right now, dude. Holy moly! For me to be like I am. For me to feel
when I get some fire like that.
I feel like I'm 18 again right now, and I never feel this way. I mean, I'm like soaring. So God knows what's going to happen the rest of the show here, guys. Woo-hoo, my bad.
I got some Dante's Inferno right now. I'm in love with.
I got something I never heard of before. Kush Face.
All right.
I don't have any idea what that's. I don't know if it maybe tells me what it's made. Let's see if it says what it's a cross of. Oh, Animal Face and Kush Mints. No wonder I like it. Those are 2 of my favorites.
Ooh, Kush Mints is really good.
Yeah, any mints are great. Triangle mints, Kush mints. So yeah, no wonder this is so good. And then I got another one that I tried earlier, and I apparently didn't kick like this one did, but it's Gary Runts.
Some Gary Payton mixed with some runts.
Some runts, yeah. So I saw that and I was like, ooh, that's 2 of the best. I got to get that. That's 2 of the most flavorful.
They had some Gary Payton crossed with some strawberry cough at the dispensary that I didn't end up grabbing it the other night. I get over to my spot tomorrow. They're having they were supposed to have a grand opening today, and they moved from one location to like 3 doors down. It's just double the size of where they were at, and they got a visit from like the county yesterday before they were getting ready to close up. So I don't know what they were doing today. I don't know if they were going to actually open up for their grand opening or put it off for a couple of days so they don't get bopped.
I saw a story about the New York illegal weed shops getting busted, and that one of the major owners of that is a Premier League soccer coach, I believe, or owner. Did you hear about that?
It's probably the same guy that, yeah, dude. The Glacier family.
King of New York, illegal weed.
It's got to be the Glacier family, because I believe they also own the Buccaneers.
The story's behind a paywall. God damn it. That story behind a paywall too. Yeah. No, Roland Connor. No, that's not
that name. I don't know.
Different
I know
guy.
there's a family in Rochester that owns a Premier League soccer club, the Buccaneers.
No, I don't know what team it is. I don't think it was in Rochester though. I think it was just like, I don't know. It just said New York, so I don't know if it's New York City or.
Okay.
He owns them all over. I actually don't know. So, I love Curious George. There you go, Crooked Orchids. That's for you, baby. Let's see. The phones. Oh, speaking of Curious George, the phones are not working today. However, I worked on them for a while, And the problem I thought it was is not the problem. So I have a ticket in with the support people. I've talked to them back and forth a little bit today. I followed some of their instructions and gave them some information, and they are going to work on it first thing in the morning. So I'm hoping we'll have the phones back up and running for tomorrow. So, because right now it can literally take one phone call and then the whole thing shuts off. So I have no idea what's going on with it. It doesn't make any sense. It literally, like, I'll do a test phone call and then nothing else works.
Nothing will work after that.
No, and I thought maybe it's only letting my call through, so I'd be one call earlier. It worked for her for the first time, and then I tried to call on my phone. It didn't work. So no rhyme or reason.
Shit.
No rhyme or reason. So, all right, I mentioned before the break that I have some, man, I am zooted right now. Holy crap. I honestly cannot remember the last time I was this zooted. So, woo, yeah, all right. I mentioned I have something that I'm going to need participation in. Not right this second. You don't have to make a decision right now. But tomorrow is the official start of football season. And I got a direct message from one Pat Wooey, member of the league, an official member of the League of Dummies. He's joined up. He is a big fantasy football fan. And he said, Dom, we got to get this fantasy football league going. And I agree with him. I definitely want to get a fantasy football league going. So I think what we're going to do, well, first we have to figure out what is going on with which league we should start with. Because I've only ever done the Yahoo leagues, Mikey. I have you.
Okay.
And now what league? I can't, because I texted you earlier, and I think you said you did the ESPN league before.
ESPN, yeah, I love ESPN.
Okay.
They've always been the best. When I mind you, I haven't been on Yahoo probably in 7 years, and I only run one league every year, which is this one. But I've always had great experiences with ESPN, and I know my commissioner chooses. He goes through and he does mock leagues in both of them each year to see how the playability and everything like that works. And he gives us a nice little tutorial, and we vote on where our league's going to be through every year.
As far as, okay, so, but every year it's been, so it basically comes down to
ESPN every year.
ESPN. Well, I did Google to see which one is the best or most used, and it does say ESPN is the most used by far. Like, even over, like, 22 million people use that, and like 4 people use the NFL's one, which is really weird to me.
Curious, we're not, you guys, I'm curious whether or not Pat Wooey and you were fans of PPR or standard scoring.
I actually don't know which I was doing, to tell you the truth. Is that points per reception?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know the difference really, because I just assumed I was playing that, or is it only like they have to get a certain number of receptions to get points?
Most leagues are PPR. It's more of the higher scoring stuff. I think you get points for receptions, points for rush attempts. I just don't like it. We're a standard scoring league, so I was just curious.
Oh, Pat Wooey's got a great point. That stat tracker for Yahoo is awesome. Do they have that for ESPN, like live stat tracking? Like it's telling you in real time where they're at on the yard, like when somebody's in the red zone. Oh, you have all that? Okay, Pat. Yep. So Pat Wooey, superfan donation too. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, bro. All right. So it's to be determined officially at this point which one we're gonna do. We'll look a little bit more into it. I'll figure out. Maybe what I'll do is because the fantasy football league I was in was on the old show. Was like the corporate one, like that Dieter ran, and there was like salespeople in it and stuff like that. So he kind of ran all that. So I was just in it. I just went, okay, cool. Here's my money, and then basically just gave him my money because he would always win or whatever. But so from there, maybe I'll shoot him a text and say, what was our league? Was it PPR or standard or whatever? Because I honestly don't remember. So maybe I'll shoot him a text. I should probably see how he's doing, by the way. I saw, is he back? I saw he's back.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, how's he? What did he go through? How is he? Is he okay? Is he
They
walking
removed
weird?
like 9 inches of his colon. He talked about shitting himself a couple times.
Oh man.
Um, but other than that, yeah, I think he's literally just going crazy because he can't lift heavy things.
That's right. He's got no pucker power
Yeah,
anymore, so he can't lift at
well,
all.
that
Nothing.
and the laparoscopic surgery through his abdomen and everything like that. I think he's got like 6 incision little spots or 3 or 4 incision spots, and
I'm
those little spots in your abdomen are so hard. When I got my appendix taken out, not my appendix, what the hell is that thing called? But yeah, appendix, isn't it?
yeah, probably.
Yeah, the other one, tonsils is up here now. Appendix. When I had my appendix
Yeah,
out, I
appendix,
remember
yeah.
it was tiny little incisions through my abdomen, and that was the most painful thing I've ever had in my entire life. I had to roll to get out of bed for like 6 weeks.
I just assumed they went into his asshole. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm just an idiot. I just assumed they went into his asshole. So, poor guy. Well, I hope he's okay. I'm glad to know that he's back, and I hope they got everything and all his scans come back clean after all that shit, because that's a lot to go through for just the hope that you get that scan come back clean. So, boy,
Yeah.
that's a sad situation going on over there. So I hope he's okay. So yeah, I should probably shoot him a text, ask him, say hope you're doing well and all that shit. Anyway. Vanilla Charlie said, do 2 leagues, one on Yahoo and one on ESPN. Well, let's first off, let's figure out how many people are actually interested in this before we do it. Let's make sure we can get at least one league, do it. I don't know.
Yeah, and we can vote on it. If guys want to do Yahoo over ESPN, I don't give a shit where it is.
Okay, we can think of something like that then. So for now, I think what I'm going to have everyone do, if you want in on this league, what do you think? Do you think you want to do a hundo? Think that's a good.
I'm down for whatever.
Yeah, I think that's a good number. I think that's a nice clean number if people are interested in doing it. And if that's too much, let me know. We can figure it out. But I think that's a nice even number for everybody to do. And I figure what we do is if you're interested in doing it, shoot me an email, anotherdumbshow@gmail.com. And then whatever one you email from, obviously, or whatever account you'd probably end up using for, to log in with, because that's what I'd end up doing, is sharing it right back to you on that one once I create the league. So I think what we do then is just let me know how many want to do it. Anotherdumbshow@gmail.com. If we can put together a full league, we do that. And if we need to do more, we consider a second one. But I'll be shocked if we get more than one league put together. And this isn't just for the dudes, by the way.
Point, like, let's. Oh God, yeah, no. If you're into football, let's get it. I'd love to take ladies' monies too. Let's go.
Yeah, because there were a couple girls in the league that I was at at the radio station. They actually did pretty good. So I think a hundo's a good buy-in.
If there's a hundo behind this, and we're talking a 12-team or 14-team league, I am all about it, and I am coming for that crown.
All right, perfect. So what we'll do is then we'll have. So make sure you guys email me if you're interested. I think probably what I'll do is I'll just end up like sharing my Venmo with somebody, or like anybody who wants to get in on it, and then I'll just hold it like an escrow until the end of the season, and then that. So there you go. I think that'd probably be the easiest way to do it. And then that's it. So if you want in on the fantasy football league, the Another Dumb Show, Another Dumb Fantasy Football League, well, all you got to do is email.
Oh my God, we can do a live draft and broadcast during the draft.
Yeah, we could just. I mean, we can't broadcast the draft, but we could. I mean, oh, what are you saying? You lost me because I'm like,
we could literally do the show. We could do the draft while we're doing the show.
Yeah, I could absolutely put together a thing where it's all everybody who's in on it, and we could even do it like a members only if people don't want to watch it or whatever. We could do. It could be. That's one of the things.
V-Mix draft. Oh my God, let's go.
Yeah, I believe, I don't know how many calls I can do at once. I think, let's see, on the old show, were we doing 7 or 8 at a time? Or was it only 6 at a time? I can't remember. I don't know what my limit is. I might have a limit on how many I can do. It might be 8. So we'll have to see how that works. If not, maybe we get a couple people on the phone too, if we have to, depending on how many. Let's see how many people we get in the fucking league first. Let's make sure we fill up a league at this point. So, but yeah, so I really want to do that. I'd love to have some ladies in on it too. So Once again, everybody, anotherdumbshow@gmail.com. That is the way to get into the league. And yeah, we could do the draft live for sure. If we had to, we could do it like, I don't know, we could maybe include the chat. I don't know. There's a way to, I'm sure there's a way I could tinker it and figure it all out. Let's see. Yeah, I might even be able to do, I could maybe bring in Zoom or something and have multiple people on Zoom. I don't know. I don't really know I'm not super familiar with that. I don't know how much that costs. I don't know. So, all right, let's see. What else did I have to talk about today? Let's check the chat here, actually, real quick. I saw Doug Killed Jack was in there. He said something that he agreed with me that B1's probably not out banging the whole world, that she's just going through something right now. But that doesn't mean that we are great for each other, I think is what he said. So I wanted to give him a little shout there too. So thank you, Doug Killed Jack. I do see PDJ is still in there trying to get his face pounded in by Disaster. I highly recommend backing off of that train. It's only going to get you into trouble there, PDJ. I've gotten some emails from Disaster. He's not taking this as a chat or internet kind of thing. So I really would highly recommend hopping off that train as quick as you can, my dude, because it's not going to end well for you. And I don't mean to make like poke and prod the bear by saying that. Like, I'm not trying to be like, oh, if I say this, PDJ is going to go after, it's going to get worse. It's not at all. I'm genuinely trying to look out for your well-being, bro.
Posted his stat line in the chat, and my God, I didn't realize he was that big of a human.
How big did he say he is?
6'6", 295.
Every bit of it. Yeah.
That is an earth mover. That's a big man.
I would have said heavier, actually. And I don't mean that necessarily like a big fat ass heavier too. Like just heavier, like just gigantic human being heavy. Like could be playing
5 at 6'6" looks kind of thin, I'm guessing.
He could be an offensive guard, I think, in the NFL. He's huge. So be careful, bro. All right. Speaking of football, did you see what Pat McAfee said that got him in trouble? Did you see any of that?
No, what do you say now? That man's always getting in trouble now.
Yeah, well, it seems like ever since I think ever since he made that big ESPN contract, which good for him. Fantastic doing a fucking podcast and YouTube show and parlaying that into a big giant YouTube or ESPN contract. Good for him. But Jesus Christ, does he have a lot of people on his show? Have you ever turned that show on? You ever seen that? I thought we had a lot of people.
He's got like an 8-piece.
I figure like it's more than that. Like I thought we had a lot of people on RMG, but Jesus Christ, that guy, he's got a lot of people on his fucking show. I mean, that's a staff to pay for right there, man. So I sure hope he's getting paid heavily by. What is that situation with ESPN? Do you know what he got from them or how that show's supposed to work on there? Or have you heard anything about that?
Not a clue. I have no idea. Well, all these big corporations and stuff are trying to get into the podcasting space now and stuff like that. So they'll be buying up all these big shows.
Well, I think I think I did see one little thing about potentially doing like a simulcast, that they would do their show on like the podcast and on YouTube, and it would also get simulcast over to ESPN as well. So they'd like keep the format they have and just send it over there too. And put it
They used to do that. Like Dan Patrick is doing simulcasts for years. Jim Rome has always done simulcasts.
So that's
he's just the next one up.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean he's got a huge following as it is, so it's gonna get even bigger.
I like him more than Rome, Patrick. I
like him.
Cow turd, whatever. Yeah. I hate.
I like McAfee because he's like got a positive vibe. Usually that's, you know what I mean? That's one of the things I like about it is he's got a good vibe. He's not all super usually real negative kind of thing. He like tries to find the lighter side and things, have a little bit more fun with it. So I like that about his show. But he said something
with AJ Hawk too. I like AJ Hawk.
Oh yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's great. I love how they kind of bust each other's balls and stuff. It's good. But so one of the guys on the show had put out a tweet over the weekend about the Michigan State's new one of their new jerseys, I believe one of their new football jerseys. And Pat McAfee replied to the guy's tweet saying, what did he say? He said, McAfee replied to the tweet writing, I think Nasser was in on the design team actually. Talking about Larry Nasser, the infamous Michigan State sexual assault guy that assaulted hundreds of girls and guys and girls or whatever. So so the internet obviously did not take well to him saying that. And so he did have to. Oh, you know what? Actually, I have a video of it. I forgot. He came out. He did what? Well, I guess you could call it an apology. I don't know. You tell me if you call this an apology or not, Mikey. Let me know what you think.
If I went to Michigan State and this whole thing happened, if they didn't say that to me, we would be avoiding something that is very serious, very terrible, and very real. So I do apologize to everybody that just took my 6-word tweet and then said that I was disrespecting this and not thinking about the victims. It's like, what? I think we're thinking about the victims, future victims, and everything by reminding people that this motherfucker had a lot of power at Michigan State for a long time while being a terrible human being. And I'm just shit talking to Frank.
I was going to say, you're taking a shot at a buddy. It's as simple as that.
But I have to, it was an eye opener, though.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Taking a shot at a buddy. You kidding me? There was no. He obviously knew he was being. There was no. I'm not. He didn't do that and go, I think when I put this tweet out here, this will really help bring more awareness to Larry Nasser and the victims at Michigan State. I mean,
no, I don't think so. I don't think so either. But when he says he's taking a shot at a buddy, I think for sure he's just popping shit the way you would in a text thread. But he did it on a very public thread.
Yeah, that was but that was a totally hollow bullshit ass apology, and it was like I trimmed that down. It was 4 minutes of kind of the same thing, of him kind of rehashing the whole thing all over again, and then just kept saying, "Oh, it's all just about bringing awareness to it and making sure that they're aware." And I like Pat McAfee, so I found it to be, which kind of was a kind of shitty thing. I don't know. I thought it was shitty for him to say that, and I love a good dark joke, but I still think that's maybe a little too soon. A little too soon for those jokes. And especially in the world we're living in. You can't fucking say anything without people getting all fucking worked up about everything. Take it from me. Jesus Christ. Fucking babies out there. Major fucking babies out there. Blows my mind, Mikey, the level of babiness that's out there. Speaking of sports, plenty of babies out there. I forgot. We talked boxing for a sec. You know who Sugar Shane Mosley is, right?
Yeah.
You know who Jake Paul is, right? He's Jake Paul's trainer.
Yeah, Jake Paul's fighting this weekend.
Yeah. So do you know who Dylan Dennis is?
Yeah, it's Conor McGregor's training partner.
There you go. Are you familiar with what went down with Sugar Shane Mosley and Dylan Dennis or whatever his name is? Dennis, yeah. Did you hear about this controversy?
I didn't. No, they've run into each other someplace, and
no. So
Dylan's a pretty good wrestler, to be honest with you.
Well, that could be part of the reason why this all went down the way it did, because Dylan has released. He was supposed to fight in 2021. There was talks that he was going to fight Jake Paul, this Dylan Dennis dude. Dylan Dennis was going through, in order to get to Conor McGregor, people were saying, well, all right, beat Dylan Dennis, and then maybe you have a chance to get to Conor McGregor if Jake Paul wanted to fight him. Mm-hmm. That obviously, the fight never really happened between Jake Paul and this Dennis dude or Conor McGregor, obviously. But while that was all going down, Shane Mosley was kind of I think he had kind of broken up with Jake Paul for a little bit. Remember, he started training him early on, then they had a falling out, and then they came back together. Well, there were some DMs that Mosley sent to Dylan Dennis, basically saying the only way that Jake Paul would be willing to fight Dennis is if Dennis willingly fought him with a bad knee. That's the only way that. So basically, he was saying that this is coming from Mosley's mouth. Here's the actual tweet. If it doesn't, or excuse me, the direct message between Mosley and Danis. So here it is. Mikey, it says, this is Mosley saying, doubt Jake will make the fight with you if he knows your knee is good, though. So keep it on the low if you really trying to make that fight. Definitely wouldn't let it be known you talking to me about possibly training or tips. He definitely ain't signing up to fight you then. Dana says, he's been bitching because I want June. He wants March. He says, I don't think he'll take it. Just want a bit more time for my knee. And then Mosley says, he doesn't want you to have time to heal. So then he keeps going on. He says, I know his weakness. If anyone knows, I know. And this is the dude's now trainer. So he is totally... Oop, wrong one. I want to open this one. This is the next DM. So then he goes, says, if I know, Mosley says, I know Jake Paul's weakness. If anyone knows, I know. And then the last guy, Dylan says, you think that's why he doesn't want to wait? And then down here, he goes, this is the crazy one, Mikey. Listen to this. Mosley says, if it was me, knowing how Jay works, meaning Jake Paul, best thing to do is leak fake info about how your knee is shot for good and you won't be in shape to fight in March or June. He and his team will love to fight a crippled fighter, but it has to be leaked the right way so they believe it. That would be my thought. Don't screenshot our messages and post them up either. I don't play that kid shit. Just looking out. So
It's definitely some kid shit that Dylan Danis would do for sure.
So, well, it took him a while, but he did end up finally releasing them. So I wonder how that'll now Mosley is now training Jake Paul again. Am I correct?
I'm not sure who is. I know who his boxing coach is. I think it might be one of the coaches that helps out from time to time. I don't think that's his main coach though.
Well, Shane Mosley ended up coming out in defense of himself and with one of the most bullshit ass things I've ever read. He goes, seeing a bunch of noise on social media today. For the record, 3 years ago, I didn't even control my own social media. Now I do. To be clear, Jake Paul would annihilate Dylan Dennis, but it would never get sanctioned. Jake's a boxer. What they're doing are unsanctioned exhibitions and are not on Jake's level. Saturday night, you will see. And isn't he fighting who, Nate Diaz this Saturday?
It's a big fight for him, man. If he loses this fight, he's kind of back down to obscurity, and he's going to be fighting YouTube boxers, and you really see whether or not this dude's head's in the fight game. Or if he wins this fight, Conor McGregor's next.
Do you think there's any chance he's going to beat Nate Diaz?
Yeah.
Really? You think Jake Paul's that legitimate of a boxer?
Dude, he has a legit punching power. He's knocked out some really good fighters. I mean,
so you're saying if
Woodley's nose pushover.
If he catches someone, you're saying then it could be.
Who knows how all the scar tissue on Nate's head is? Nate likes to leak. Like Nate has had two out of his last 3 fights ended because of TKOs because he had cuts too big over his eye.
So if he gets that, he could win on a technicality or just catch him with a big bomb or. All right.
An incidental headbutt, an elbow, something like that. But I am rooting for Nate Diaz. Nasty Nate is one of my favorite fighters in UFC's history. It's him and Donald Cerrone are probably the top 2 favorite fighters I've ever watched. And I would love nothing more to see him beat the shit out of Jake Paul, and then Jake Paul ends up fighting KSI and just goes back to just being a YouTuber.
So you don't want him to win. You just think he has a chance to win. You just think
I do think he has a chance. He's got a puncher's chance. I'll never count somebody 100%.
And I don't know enough about MMA or UFC. Was Nate Diaz a striker or was he a ground guy?
All around, he's just a brawler. He really is. But his striking is really good. He's been boxing since he's been a teenager in Compton. Like,
okay,
him and
so
his
he
brother,
can box.
like that's what they do. Like they just like to fight. He's gonna fight into his 40s. The guy's talked the same for years.
Pat Wooey says Diaz is a fucking squabbler. He gonna be in the fight.
Oh yeah, I love that word, squabble.
All So Disaster looks like he's lost a little bit of weight from. So last time I saw him, he was up over. He said he was never over 380. Oh, yeah, that's right where I was, 375. So, so he's lost some weight. He's down to 295. Well, good for Disaster. So that means he's like lean and mean too. So Jesus, be careful. The big guys, they get faster too. When we lose weight, we get even quicker. Look out. You don't want to mess with that dude. I'm telling you.
PDJ has that wiry crackhead speed.
That's true. Now I thought I saw PDJ saying there that he's really tall too. He's like 6'3", not really tall, but 6'3". That's surprising. I don't remember him being. Although I don't know if I've actually met him in person that I remember offhand. So maybe he is taller. I don't know. All right, let's see. I think I have a few videos here to kind of wrap things up with. A little video dump here. Wrap the show with. I do have some topics that I wanted to get into, some sex stuff, but I figured it's no fun to do when Mikey's when he's all testy and he's not getting any booty. So probably don't want to do a big sex thing with him or whatever. So here is, you guys know I love my airplane freakouts. Here's another really good airplane freakout, and I can relate to this because when I don't get this, I get real pissy too. If you try to take my vino away from me, same thing goes down. This is what happens.
She's not accusing you of eating.
Yes, she did.
All right, sit down and stay there. Sit down, or we're gonna land somewhere else, and you're gonna have the cops take you to jail.
Yes, we sure are.
You're gonna divert, and you're going to jail. Is that what you want to happen? There is a way. Everybody's watching what you're doing. I don't care. Sit down.
She's accusing me that I have a color.
You came on the
I don't know what happened to the audio of this. It's all
I
weird.
was nice enough to.
Listen, did you see
I
the
was
cut?
nice enough to let you on the aircraft. I could have made you stay in Houston. This is how you're gonna treat me.
Was there any wine in the
There
cup?
was wine in the cup, but you
Okay,
drank some.
it was full.
Okay, we're gonna divert, and you're gonna go to jail.
I have down.
Sit down.
You're interrupting first class. You not classy bitch. Just sit the fuck down. Don't call me a bitch. Don't call me a bitch. Yo, bitch, what the fuck you wanna do? Do not call me a
Throwing that finger
bitch.
around.
There it comes.
I'm not getting because she started
I
off.
helped you get on the aircraft.
I'm the one
I
that
helped
talked about alcohol.
you. This is how you're gonna treat me.
Sitting down.
I did. You were crying, and I gave you a hug because you told me you were having anxiety.
Yeah.
And I hugged you, and I knew you were drinking wine, and you're not allowed to. And I still let you on the airplane. There's children,
Sir,
families
I
on
am
board.
speaking to you perfectly.
We want you to stop.
I've done my job.
So enough. Okay, we got your point. Enough,
You guys
okay?
are both insane.
Enough.
Okay, I've had enough.
So they do end up. This is all because they wouldn't give her any more wine. She just wanted wine, and she said she knew there was wine on the plane. I think she said that I saw you taking wine to the cockpit. So I want some motherfucking wine. So they ended up landing that plane from, if I remember reading that correctly.
They diverted and arrested her, huh?
Yep. So
Yeah.
good
She
for
had to
her.
get the last word.
She paid for that though. She paid for that. Let's see, what else do I have here? There is a guy who, speaking of our fantasy football, and we'll have to come up for something. You know, that's the thing now these days. You guys have a punishment for the loser, Mikey, in your
No.
fantasy football league? Nothing like that. No,
No.
you just lose your money and that's it.
Yeah, no, we have a consolation bracket that plays for the first overall pick next year, so nobody's really trying to come in last place or lose or tank their season.
Well, there is a reason to actually, because I think they do these kind of punishments because you don't want people who don't give a shit about the league. You know what I mean? Like you want people who are actually going to be participate. What the fuck was that?
It was my cat knocking my cheese puffs off the table.
My cheesy, it's fucking bad kitty. My cheesy poop's over.
they're protein puffs. They taste like shit.
That's gross. Why not just get the real thing, dude? Fuck that.
Because there's no carbs and no sugar, and it's 21 grams per protein per cup. So you eat like 2 cups of them. They're jalapeno cheddar.
If they taste like shit, why would you bother eating them? What's the point? So,
Because
all
at
right.
that point, I'm just eating for sustenance. I'm not eating for taste.
Gross. All right, so I think we should put together some sort of punishment. This was there's these dudes that I found this video online today. It went viral because there was a guy who he lost his fantasy football league. He actually had to do the punishment for it, which was to go golfing wearing a dress. Now, normally I wouldn't think that's a big of a deal. I wouldn't show you just the guy golfing in a dress. Who gives a shit? But he goes on and does this. That's a sweet dress.
Dude, you look jacked. Oh shit. Go in. Oh my god, it's coming down. Oh my god. Oh! Oh! Dude! Oh! Holy shit!
Knocks one in
my
from
God.
160.
Dude!
So there you go.
That's wild.
Good for homeboy. 160-yard little knock in the dress. I'm sure it was. Can you imagine doing one of the coolest things you've ever done in your life, but your buddies made you wear a dress while you're doing it? Just think about it.
I think the loser needs to get another dumb show logo, but instead of saying another dumb show, just says another dumb tattoo.
Ooh, man, I don't know if I could force anybody to get a tattoo. I don't know, man. Maybe we'll talk about that.
Willingly sign up for it.
If they want to get a tattoo, that's fine. Yeah, I don't know if I want that tattoo. That's the problem. Why
I ain't coming in last, so I ain't worried about that.
quit barking at me? I am not the greatest fantasy football player in the whole world, so I'm gonna be honest with you. I worry about whether I'm gonna be coming in dead last. I'm not that good.
Perennial playoff winner, perennial division winner, been to the Super Bowl twice, won once.
Right
I'm
on.
doing all right.
Well, great. I'm going to just give money away again this year. So, once again, we're looking for people that want to join the Another Dumb Fantasy Football League. Just email me, anotherdumshow@gmail.com from whatever email account you'd want to use to sign up with. $100 buy-in. I'll hold it in escrow until the end of the season, and then we'll divvy it out. We'll figure out. I don't know. We have to figure out how much everybody wins. If there's consolation prizes or whatever. I don't know how we want to do that. So. We'll break that down, but in the meantime, just get in on the league. Email me. Somebody who shouldn't be in a league. This video I saw today. It was from some sort of track and field championships that are going on in Japan, I believe, or China. I'm not 100% sure. And the poor Somali runner. I'm not exactly sure of the story, but I kind of read a little bit about basically the person who's in charge of the track and field team for Somalia put one of their relatives on the track and field team. And as you can imagine, putting a regular person up against trained professional athletes, it's probably not going to go very well. And I took the video off of this because I don't know. I thought I heard some weird music in the background, so I was worried that it was going to get flagged or whatever. So here is the video though, and we'll talk over it. So you'll see the Japan girl right off the bat. That was my favorite part of it. The Japanese runner just laughing. She can't control herself right off the bat. Usually these people are super intense. Now, Mikey, can you tell which one it is at this point? Just by taking a little look, I'll zoom in here. Maybe you'll be able to tell once I zoom.
I think it's would it be the pregnant woman?
Yes, I think you've nailed it. First one, the one with the belly is probably the one that doesn't belong. So you'll see them all lined up, ready to go. You got, I don't know where that is. Silva, what is that? Brazil there you got. Silva Moral. Yep. So you see her trying to be serious, and then you see the competitor, the ultimate fucking competitor right there. The Somalian runner. Look at this piece of athletic prowess. Look at the form getting into the blocks. Perfect form. An inverted elbow. But yeah, I mean, just the way she gets into the blocks is just, I love this. Ooh, okay. It looks like she's taking a shit right here when she's putting her feet down.
Look at her knees. She's got them inverted knees that touch in the middle like a
Yep.
wishbone.
She cannot bend at her waist. Like her hamstrings are so tight, she can barely bend over.
I feel like she makes as she's that's it right there. Like as she's getting down, she's like,
Hopping a skip. God, I love her. Oh man, that was so good. I love how far gone she is by the time they're already 10 feet away from her. I mean, look how
she
far.
almost had that girl next to her for the first step.
First couple steps, she's got her.
She came out the blocks just as fast as that girl next to her. There you go. But yeah, she did come out of the blocks just as quick as that girl next to her. I think that girl is the one that came in almost last place with her. But we can
We're back, baby. Sorry about that. My batteries died. I knew that was going to happen tonight, but I had backups right here in front of me, ready to go. So yeah, that girl, the way she was so quick off the line like that, she should be playing in the NFL. That's all you got to do is be able to get off that line that quick and beat people in a 4-yard, a little 3-yard cloud of dust. And you're right, Mikey. She did pretty good off the jump. Look at that, right out. She's actually not bad out of the gate. Look at that. She is right there with that girl. You called it. And then about 4 steps later, gone. Look how far that other girl is ahead of her by then. Far ahead of everybody. The Brazilian racer is gone. All right. So, all right, good for her. Way to give her yay, good job. Way to go, Somalia, your first entrance. So that's it. I think that's it I got for as far as videos before we wrap things up tonight. Let me check in with the chat, see if these guys have been doing anything right here. Let's see. No Fear says the loser covers themselves, going back to the peanut butter, or excuse me, I just gave it away. The punishment for the Fantasy Football League says loser covers themselves in peanut butter and goes to the dog park. Nugget Man caught my Cartman reference there. Thank you. And I think that is all I got. Herman said he's never played fantasy football, not that knowledgeable about football to begin with, but it's just $100. But he's in. All right, good stuff, Herman. I'll keep an eye out for your email, my dude. Mudskunk says I would consider the league, but probably not with punishment. But hey, Mikey, go Cowboys. Well, we could come up with some sort of. We could have different tiered punishments. We could have people who are like serious. Maybe we do like Mikey and I. We get worse ones since we're here or whatever. Versus like people who aren't. We could come up with a couple of different ideas for that because it doesn't need to be necessarily something horrible like Cactus Soccer or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So there's plenty to do with that. So all right, Mikey. I'm going to let you go. Thank you for hanging out tonight, man. I appreciate it. Go take your fucking pills, you fucking dipshit.
I just did. Look at
right.
I took them on camera.
Good job. Way to go. I appreciate that. That my mom will be happy.
I'll start taking my pills. I'll start taking my meds. It'll be a little thing that we do at 9 p.m. every night. Mikey med check.
Mikey's med check at 9 o'clock. All right. I'll remember that. I have to make some production for that. It's perfect. Good stuff. We'll put that in my notes. Mikey's med check. I like it. All right, dude. Well, hey, whatever we got to do.
There'll be some people in my family that'll make very happy that shit happens on the show.
I bet. I'll make me happy too. So, all right, dude. Well, you go take care of yourself the rest of the night. Enjoy your disgusting protein puff. All right, bro. Later. Love you, bro. See ya. All right. See, your old pal Dumb. Not so dumb after all. Pretty insightful fellow, this guy. I tell you, I had a feeling something was going on with my old pal Mikey there, and I was right. I knew it. So I'm glad we got to the bottom of that. I'm glad we got him back taking his meds because we don't want our main man ending up back in rehab or doing something crazy or anything like that, guys. So, all right. That's going to wrap things up for us. Boys and girls, thank you so much for streaming on my tube tonight. You know much. I love having you guys on my tube. It feels so good to have you streaming on my tube. So we're going to wrap it up. If you've not already hit the thumbs up for me, please make sure you do that. Hey, it's issue number 78. So this one's a special one to your old pal Dumb because 78 means a lot to me. So if you could just hit the thumbs up for a brother, I would really appreciate it. If you're not already subscribed to the show, make sure you subscribe because that's the only way that you're able to talk in the chat. And of course, if you want to help support Another Dumb Show to help us keep rolling along into the future, the best way to do it is hit that join button. It's $1.99 a month and you become an official member of the League of Dummies. And that's that. One more reminder, if you want to be a part of Another Dumb Fantasy Football League, all you have to do is email me at anotherdumbshow@gmail.com and we will get you in there. And as soon as I get it all signed up, oh yeah, use the email that you'd want to use for whatever you want to sign up with, for whatever, if we do ESPN or Yahoo or whatever. So whatever email you want to use, send me that one because that's going to be your sign up stuff. So anotherdumbshow@gmail.com. That's going to wrap things up for us tonight, guys. You know the rules. If you've been doing like I've been doing and you went to the dispensary and you got yourself some 34% lavender, don't go anywhere. If you've been hitting the delis, don't go anywhere. You know the rules. Stay home. Be good. That's going to wrap things up, guys. I am out of here. See ya.